Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. This is the French Master GH. Informal letters are letters that we write to people who are close to us, our friends, our parents, our loved ones. You might have a pal outside the country or within the country that you like to express yourself in written form to the person. Okay, so writing an informal letter in French is a bit different from that of English in terms of the layout and some of the expressions that are to be used. In this video, I'm going to take you through a very detailed lesson on how to write an informal letter in French. If you are ready, I'm ready. Let's get started.
The French Master GH, the French Master GH, the French Master GH, the French Master GH.
TheFrenchMasterGH.com.
Learn French the easy way.
You're welcome to my YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to my channel, kindly do so. I have a website called TheFrenchMasterGH.com where you can get access to tons and tons of French lessons. If you are a French teacher, I have schemes of work, lesson plans, trial questions and all of that, and past questions and answers on my website. So go check it out. I've also published a new French book titled Mon Ami, which is from book 4 to book 9. But for now, book 4 and then book 7 are already out. They go with audiovisual, so every substrand comes with its own video, and then it's strictly based on the new curriculum. So I guess you're ready. Let's start with today's lesson. An informal letter is the one that is written or addressed to your friends, your pals, and then it usually includes the normal conversational ways of addressing your friends and your pals. In this video, I'll help you to write an informal letter in French using important but very simple tips that need to be considered in writing this type of letter in French. The major difference between an informal letter in English and that of French is the layouts and terms as listed in the following tips. So I'm going to list some tips for you. So we are going to use these tips to write our letter. So the first tip, the address of the one writing the letter, okay? The address of you writing the letter should be written at the top left corner of the paper. So if I am Elvis Fiati, so my address should be written at the top left corner of the paper. So this is a sample letter on my website, TheFrenchMasterGH.com. So you can see that the place that I've circled with the green, that's the address of the one writing the letter there. Fiati Elvis, Enseignant à Hodome, EPJHS, PO Box HP 23 Ho. So that's the address of the one writing the letter. So it's written at the top left corner of the paper. And also, when you are writing this address, you should make sure that first of all, your name comes, your full name comes, under your full name, maybe what you do and where you do it, or where you live. Okay, it can be your box address, or maybe right now we have GPS address. You can even put your GPS address there. Any address that can locate you, you put it there, but make sure your name comes first. Okay. Now let's move to tip number 2. The second tip says that the date should be written at the top right corner of the paper and adjacent to the address. Remember that tip number 1 says that your address should be written at the top left corner. Now the date should be written at the top right corner. So the address and then the dates are going to be at the opposite side. They are to be facing each other, adjacent to each other. It's different from English, where your address will come and then under your address you have the dates. But in French, you have your address at the top left corner and then the dates at the top right corner. So the date should include the following. It should include your location. That is where you are writing the letter from. And then the dates. So let's see a format. Okay, so you see again with the same letter, I have opposite to the address. I have ho, comma, or virgule, le 26 septembre 2018. Ho, meaning I'm writing the letter from Ho. So if you are writing a letter from Accra, you have to write Accra le 26 septembre 2018. If it's today's date you are going to write and you are in Bolgatanga, you can say Bolgatanga le 14 août 2022. Okay, so if you are in France, France, and then you are in Paris, you say Paris le 14 août 2022. So that is about the address and then the date. Now we move to tip number 3. The third tip says that the greeting should be written in a line below the address and followed by a comma. So you know the address is to be written at the top left corner. So under the address, a line below it. Like in English, you have dear sir or dear sir stroke madam, comma. So in French, you have the same thing. Now you have to consider using the following terms when writing the greetings. The first one here is cher ami. This cher ami, this type of cher ami is used for male. It's for masculine gender. Okay, it's for males. Then we have cher ami with the E having the accent grave, and then ami with E at the end of it. So that's for female. And then we have, you can also use très cher ami. And then so I have the male and the female version, très cher ami. You can also say straight, you can say bonjour John. If your friend's name is Kossi, you say bonjour Kossi. If his name is Albert, you say bonjour Albert. Or you can even mention the person's name directly. Let's say your friend's name is Adam. You say Adam, comma, that's all. Or you can say Juliet, comma. Or you can say Abiba, comma. That in this letter, this is a sample. I have mon cher Donald. Mon cher Donald, followed by comma. Where the green ink is, you can see mon cher Donald there. Mon cher Donald, followed by comma. And then it's just under a line below the address. You have mon cher Donald, comma. Or mon cher Donald, virgule. Okay. We move to tip number 4. The fourth tip says the introduction of your letter should be written a line below the greeting. The introduction of your letter should be written a line below the greeting. So the greeting that you say cher ami or très cher ami or John, comma. So the introduction should be written a line below it. You have to consider using the following terms in order to write a very good introduction. The first example. J'ai le plaisir de t'écrire cette lettre. J'ai le plaisir. J'ai le plaisir de t'écrire cette lettre. It's my pleasure to write this letter to you. Then it has to be followed by the reason for which you are writing the letter. Okay, so if the reason for writing the letter is that I just want to greet my friend, I'll say, oh, j'ai le plaisir de t'écrire cette lettre pour te saluer, to greet you. Or if it's to describe maybe your new acquired Range Rover to your friend, j'ai le plaisir de t'écrire cette lettre pour te décrire ma nouvelle voiture. So it's just an example. Another way of writing the introduction is you can say je t'écris cette lettre pour, je t'écris cette lettre pour, then you state your reason. If it's to greet the person, je t'écris cette lettre pour te saluer. Okay? Then another way of writing the introduction to is that you can say c'est avec regret que, That means that you are going to break a very bad news. So, for instance, you want to tell the person your father is no more. C'est avec regret que je t'annonce le décès de mon père. Okay, the fourth way of saying it is je suis content de t'envoyer. That means you are going to break a good news. So, je suis content de t'envoyer. Je suis content de te dire que j'ai réussi à mon examen. The fifth way of saying it is tout le plaisir est pour moi de t'écrire cette lettre. Tout le plaisir est pour moi de t'écrire cette lettre pour, for example, if you want to say to greet the person, pour te saluer, or you want to invite the person to your country, pour t'inviter dans mon pays. The sixth way of saying it is c'est avec un cœur gai que je t'annonce. So maybe I've won lottery. So I can say c'est avec un cœur gai que je t'annonce que j'ai gagné à la loterie. Let's see a sample in the letter that I've written to my friend Donald. So it's the one in the green ink. You can see I've written j'ai le plaisir de t'écrire cette lettre pour te décrire ma ville natale. So I'm going to describe my hometown or my town or my city to my friend Donald. I've added something to you can add anything. So je pense que tout va bien à New York. Et tes parents, je pense qu'ils se portent bien. That means Donald is in New York. And then I'm also asking about the well-being of his parents. Okay, and then I told him that in the introduction, it's my pleasure to write this letter to him to describe my hometown or my city to him. Okay. Tip number 5, that is about the subscription. The subscription should be included. So after writing the content of your letter, for instance, I want to describe my ville natale, which is my city, to my friend Donald. After writing all of that, we call something subscription. The subscription is where you say yours sincerely or your friend. So let's look at how it's said in French. So you can say mes sincères amitiés, comma, then you write your name under it. You can sign or not. You can also say ton ami. If your friend is a male, you write the ton ami without E at the end. But if it's a female, you write ton ami with E at the end. And then you write your name under it. You can also say ton ami sincère. Ton ami sincère, and then you write your name under it. So let's see that in the example, in the sample letter. That's where I've circled with green. You can see I've written ton ami sincère, comma, I've signed, and then I've written Elvis Fiati, or you can say Elvis. You can decide to do this thing. You can decide to sign or not. Okay. Yeah, merci beaucoup. Thanks for your patience. This lesson might be boring, but it's very, very important because we need to know how to write letters in French. In this lesson, we learned how to write an informal letter in French. And we said that in writing this, the format or the layout is different from that of English. So you need to write the address at the top left corner, and then that's your address. Okay, so at the top left corner, your name should come, your occupation, and where you are, including your address. Okay, you can just write your name and then your address. The opposite that's at the top right corner, you should write the date. The date should include where you are writing the letter from, the city you are writing the letter from, or the village you are writing the letter from, followed by comma, and then the date should follow. Like for instance, Ho le 26 septembre 2018. Then we move to the greetings. The greetings should come right under the address. Just a line after the address, you write the greetings. The greetings can be bonjour Kojo or Kojo, or mon très cher or très cher ami, or mon ami. Are you getting me? So you can just mention the person's name straightly. And then we come to the introduction. I gave different ways you can write the introduction, up to 6 ways, so you can choose any of them. Like for instance, j'ai le plaisir de t'écrire cette lettre pour, then you add the reason for which you are writing the letter, and then you write the body of the letter, and then we come to subscription. The subscription, you have to write ton ami or ton ami sincère, and then under it you have your name that is written there. You can decide to sign or not, and you can decide to write your full name or just your first name, because it's your friend and he knows you very well. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly do so. Like the video for more people to get access to this video, and then inform them that the French Master GH is here to help them learn French the easy way. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.